Well, the Chicago Bulls have reportedly zeroed down on a choice for vice president of basketball operations. We're going to talk about it. But first, you know you got to hear the music.
Cognac, gang.
Was podcast with the Cognac Boys. I am Cognac Boy CDubb, holding it down on another daily episode of Shy Boys Podcast. If you like what you're listening to, make sure you hit that like button, punch that subscribe button. We on our way to 10K. We'll get that any damn day. Now let's get to the content. The Chicago Bulls are currently and reportedly close to hiring a vice president of basketball operations. Yes, they are. And obviously, it's Matt Lloyd. The Chicago Bulls zeroing on hiring Matt Lloyd, as reported by the Sun-Times, which we could have seen coming. This is the least best kept secret in Chicago. Any conversation that was had about the vice president spot, it had to start with my man, Matt Lloyd. And he had people inside holding it down for him. A source told the Sun-Times, although there was no clear favorite as of last Monday, or let's just say last Monday, Matt Lloyd has taken the lead and can be named to the position in a couple of days, as reports say. I can see that. As I said, the NBA draft is this week. It is coming up fast. May 10th is the NBA draft lottery. I would think that you would want to have your vice president of basketball operations guy hired. Former VP John Paxson is said to be a strong Matt Lloyd supporter. Well, John and Matt, they got history together. They collaborated and built that Jimmy Butler, Derrick Rose combination back in 2010s. That was him. So, of course, with their friendship, you can already see that he had the jump on any other candidate looking for this job. Plus, you can add to the fact that the Chicago Bulls always go with familiarity. Excuse if I didn't pronounce that right. You say these names: Chris Getz, Rick Hahn, Kenny Williams, John Paxson, Gar Foreman, Ozzie Guillen, Bill Cartwright, Phil Jackson. These are all players who got promoted to their former teams. All former alumni to their own teams. Chicago White Sox, Chicago Bulls. That's how Jerry does business. He likes to hire the familiar. You had to be like working with them. So that's another reason why it's pretty much set in stone that Matt Lloyd was going to be the vice president of basketball operations. Also, Joe Cowley is reporting, if hired, Matt Lloyd will bring along Micah Nori. Yeah, I think that's pretty obvious as well, too. I remember Michael Nori. He had to coach while Chris Finch was injured somehow. He had to take the reins in the playoff series, and I believe the Minnesota Timberwolves won that series. Nori has been voted the top assistant manager by NBA general managers for the last 2 years. Nori considered a top defensive strategist in the league, and he's worked under big name coach champions and like very successful coaches like Mike Malone and Chris Finch currently. He's also been up for other jobs like the New York Knicks and the LA Lakers. But back to that defensive strategist. That's music to a Chicago Bulls fan's ear. We can look at the last 3 years of the Minnesota Timberwolves in defensive rating. 3 years ago, they were in first, 6th in 2025, and last year they were 8th. We can use that here in Chicago. Bring that work over here to Chicago. I don't even want to bring a chart of the defensive rating of the Chicago Bulls on the screen. We want something that look like this. So it's looking like it's going to be Matt Lloyd. Nothing set in stone. No announcements been made. But all the energy and momentum is pointing to a one-time Chicago Bulls employee currently in the second round of the playoffs. Matt Lloyd. Tell me how you think. Tell me what you think about Matt Lloyd if he is hired in a couple days, and tell me what you think if he brings Micah Nori with him to be the head coach of the Chicago Bulls. Let's get this thing moving. See y'all on the next one. For sure.